What is up, guys? Back with another video. We got the two Porsches sitting next to each other. Carrera 4. I'm liking it. I am not mad at it. All right, let's start this thing up. It is toasty. If you guys are new to the channel, my name is Chris. I'm 40 years old and I'm trying to get to financial freedom. I've got these bolts right here. They're going to go in the steering column, a steering shaft of a 1989 BMW E30. I got to bring them to the shop and drop them off to the guy so he can put them in. They put the wrong ones in, so I had to order them. This is my 992 2020 Porsche Carrera S. So if you guys are new to the channel and you haven't seen this car, this is a 1998 Porsche Carrera S 993. Man, I just came out in the garage just to look at it. It's late at night, so I'm kind of whispering a little bit. But my favorite thing on this car is the turbo twist wheels. And I like the rear of it. It's wide body. Guys, we're back on the streets. I got the DDP Car Club shirt on. Shout out to everybody following the channel. I don't have the merch store on the site, on the YouTube channel right now, because I didn't like how long they were taking to print. This is print on demand. I didn't like how long they were taking to print and ship the orders out. It's taking forever. That's one of the reasons why I'm not a huge fan of drop shipping. I like the control of being able to fulfill your own orders. But I gotta say, I ordered like 10 different shirts. I've never really shown any of the shirts that I showed little pictures of them, but I never like was wearing one saying, check out this shirt. But I gotta be honest, I like this shirt. I don't know if it's the color or I just kind of like the placement of the DDP. The only thing is, after I ate a couple cheeseburgers, the DDP logo was popping out a little bit, and that wasn't very good because it was highlighting that. But other than that, I kind of like the location. It's different. I don't know. I kind of like it. I like the color of it. I'm finally pumping this bad boy up. Still stacking SCHD. I'm at 46,590 shares. Another car just pulled up. BMW, lowered with wheels. Looks pretty cool. I was just talking to him. He did a lot of stuff too. He's got the tail lights are different. M240i. Thing's probably fun to drive. That thing's fun, really fun. All right, but we're getting back into Porsche. We're getting back on the streets. We got to get dialed in. Brand new day. Brand new opportunities. I don't know what in the world I'm chasing today, but all I know is that I need to get to work because I have bills to pay and I've got family members to take care of. So I got to make sure I'm stacking that cash. I gotta figure out a way to just, all I do is every day just try to get in the profit in the business. I don't even care if it's freaking 10 bucks. Oh, here's my audiobook. I haven't listened to audiobooks in forever. This is The Power of the Subconscious Mind.
Health, happiness, peace, and all the blessings of life.
It's all just about subconscious mind
freely,
stuff.
Joyously and lovingly.
But you know,
whenever I think of the person,
I like the subconscious mind stuff, but I'll be dead honest. I think just taking action, dude. I noticed that the quicker I go from the idea to the action, the more success I've had. Like, procrastination kills you. I think it just destroys you if you procrastinate, because it stacks up. The thing I heard Tony Robbins say one time, OPA, outcome, purpose, action. So it's like, figure out what it is you want, figure out why you want it, and then just take action. Don't get me wrong, I like all the subconscious mind stuff and power of positive thinking and all that, and like Think and Grow Rich. That's a good book if I haven't dropped that name, Napoleon Hill. That's probably one of the best ones, actually, out of all the books for mindset. But like, you know, Gary Vee, I think he says, like, ideas are shit. You know, it's like, ideas don't matter. It's like taking action, dude. Everybody, I've had a million ideas. You want me to tell you some of the ideas I had? When I was a mechanic, I was going on LambertandLambert.com. Apparently they were like patent attorneys, or I can't remember what they were, but I had ideas. I had a baby bottle that I was gonna call it like bottoms up or bottles up, and like a weight in the bottom, and like basically like when the baby bottle tipped over, it like came back up from the weight. Check out that old Mercedes. Thing's nice. And I had that idea. Then I had an idea for a dishwasher for people with bad backs. like you push a little foot pedal and the bottom rack like comes up, and then like maybe there's like a thing you use to push it down, and then you let go of it and it drops, you know, like it drops into itself down into the bottom rack. Now it could be a button, it could be electronic. Back then I was just thinking like manual. Check out this Cullinan. All black. Oh, he's hitting the speed bumps. I'm glad actually he warned me about this bump. I wouldn't have seen it. I would have bottomed out. This house is for sale. $4 million. It's honestly ridiculous. I was watching a video last night and I heard a good thing. They said the best investment strategy of all time. Find a main street, go 30 miles out and buy up all the land and wait 20 years. Years ago, a guy told me, he said, what he does is he buys land, real cheap land out in the middle of nowhere, a ways out from the city or town, on a main thoroughway, like on a main interstate. And he said eventually, he's done this like 20 times, the guy has. He'll lease the land to like an O'Reilly's Auto Parts or a Dollar General, or it'll be in an area like that where like a main, you know, like a main like 41 or Route 40 or whatever town you live in. I gotta wake up. I'm a little bit out of it. I gotta figure out what are the things I'm doing today. I'm about to go work on my laptop. I know what I need to do, but I'm saying I gotta think of the things that, what I like to think of it as like the meat and potatoes, like the freaking main course. What are the things that are gonna propel me forward? Like when you wake up, it's like you're like a battery, and you have, wherever you put your energy into, like people, places, and things, is gonna determine what tomorrow looks like. So every day I'm like, all right, what am I focused on today? Am I doing busy work, or am I doing things that are gonna turn things up? Am I working in the business or on the business? I gotta work on it. And you gotta delegate the in the business work. But you know, sometimes I got obsessed with delegation. I'm like, I'm delegating everything. I'm gonna scale this thing, I'm delegating everything. And then you know what I figured out? I figured out that the delegation's great and it does scale. You know, you can, it's like the ratio. Like right now, your work, you go get your paycheck, you're 1-to-1. So you're making the income of one person because you're trading your time. Well, you hire another employee, now you're 2-to-1. And then you do it again, 3-to-1, 4-to-1, 5-to-1. That's why you see these big companies are like, how much money are these companies making? What are the CEOs making? What they've done is they've increased their ratio to a crazy number. So delegation is key. But I was going to say that I found that when I call it the tornado effect. I made this up. This is just something that like my own little personal analogy. I call it the tornado effect. You know how like you'll see a tornado when it first forms? It's tight. It's spinning tight. And if you looked at it, you'd see the circular, or a hurricane or something, you'd see the circular pattern. And it's tight. It's formed completely. And then the more it spins and the more it spins, it dissipates. And the eye gets weaker and weaker. And then before you know it, you can't even tell it's a tornado. Well, that's how I feel the delegation works. You give someone a task, the first day you train them on it, they're all into it. They're like, oh, I love this. Yeah, I could post on Instagram every single day, 25 times a day, with the perfect caption and the hashtags. And then you let them alone, just like you just leave them be. And then over time, the tornado's spinning, it's tight. And then later on, you go and look, you're like, dude, where's the damn tornado? The thing, I can't even find the center. Like, I can't even find what is this? It's all falling apart. And then you got to go back in, you got to tighten it back up again. And then it goes on and on. It's a cycle. So I think this is a really good saying. Employees, if you're an employer and you're delegating, the employees respect what you inspect. If you inspect what they're up to on a regular basis, then they'll respect it and they'll keep it tighter than they would if you're not inspecting. So I like to delegate but inspect, to stay involved. I was a diesel mechanic and we moved to Florida, and my wife and I were just fulfilling orders out of our bedroom in our house. First it was an apartment and then it was at a house. And when we moved to Florida in 2015. And I was going to work every day, and then I'd come home, and my wife would sit, dude, and fulfill orders like all night long. She'd do like 500 a night. At the time, the business was really doing pretty good. It was at the point where I was like contemplating, can I quit my job? Can I quit my job? I was excited at the time. I can remember the brand name of the shelf. If you go on Amazon and you look up Seville, Seville, that was the name of the shelf that I bought. I still remember buying the shelf and everything. It was a little metal. We actually still have those. Those aren't our main shelves in our office / fulfillment center, but those are like, they're still in there. They're in the middle of the room, and they have like some extra things on there, like a sticker thing. Like we have stickers we give with orders, so like we have like some stickers in there and things like that. But yeah, they're gray. They're like gray bins with dividers, and we had those in our bedroom. And we had, at the time, we didn't even have names for the products. We just had SKU numbers as the name, like B372. I don't know what I was doing, honestly. I didn't even care. I was like, it was working. We were getting sales, and I was like, I'm keeping this system. I don't even care. Like, the title of the product was literally the SKU number. I didn't, that's how little I knew what I was doing, but it was working, honestly. To be honest, we were getting more sales then than we are now. I think it worked good because people would write and be like, I had B371. When is B377 coming back in stock? So I'll give you a little hint, like a little tidbit about the business. So I wanted to sell something that you could have a lot of variations of. So think of like Beanie Babies or something. Like, people don't just buy one. They're like, I like these, I want to collect these. So if you can do that in a business, if you can find like for example, like a certain type of necklace, or maybe like a ring, and you have like could be different colors, different words, different meanings, different things related to someone's special life circumstances, life events, diseases that they have. It's just like anything that you could see that could be like something like people might want different versions of this thing, because you'll increase your lifetime value drastically. So that was one of the reasons why we had so many SKUs, and we just kept the names as the SKUs. But when we were fulfilling orders out of our bedroom, I didn't have any kind of process or systems in place other than just like printing labels as singles. We would print a shipping label as a single label, and we'd fulfill the order, package it, put it in we'd go to USPS, and we get a bunch of those plastic USPS tubs. And dude, every single day I was driving to USPS with like 5 or 6 of those tubs in the back of my car, and I go in and I pull the thing down and I dump them every day. It got to the point where when I would show up, they would be like pissed off, because it'd be like close to the end of the day, and they're like, here comes this guy, and he's dumping like literally 1,000 packages, and they got to scan them all. So it got to the point where eventually I would go at night when nobody was there, but the door was open and you could do the drop. I would do that, because there was times where they'd say, you can't drop them, this is too much, or they'd be like really actually frustrated. I got it, they were getting off work, and I was giving them like a workload. And then when we got our office and our fulfillment center and we're fulfilling orders like that, the guy was coming and scanning one by one, because when we would print out the manifest, a lot of times the manifest scanning wouldn't work, and we had problems with that. I had to talk to the manager at the local USPS to get that situated. But I recently did something actually the past 2 days that I was going to talk about, but I'm jumping all over the place. But if you guys don't know, if you have an e-commerce business and you are paying regular prices or Shopify prices or ShipStation prices for USPS labels, once you get to a certain number, if you have a pretty good volume, contact USPS or UPS or whoever you ship through and lock in a contract with them. So I've locked in a contract that gives us special pricing. So rather than paying $450 to ship the package, we pay $383. It doesn't sound like much, but when you're doing 1,000 orders a day, it can be like 70 to 100 grand a year in savings. But that's something to be aware of, because USPS has a special job position for someone that goes out and gets businesses to sign the contract, because they don't want you to leave and go with a private company like UPS or FedEx or DHL. The only thing is that, keep this in mind, if you're not using ShipStation or GoShippo or one of these shipping apps, you're going to have to check out that Raptor. You're going to have to move to one of those, because for them to load the rates in, they have to use stamps.com and connect it to a ShipStation to load in your special rates, which can be a little bit of a pain. So, for example, this Friday, I'm having a onboarding call with one of our employees in ShipStation, and because we want to make I custom made our packing slips. We fulfill all of our own orders, so I want the girls at the office to be able to fulfill the orders really quickly. So I've removed almost everything from the packing slip. These aren't the packing slips that go in the order. These are actually just like to fulfill the orders. But there are packing slips. So the packing slips I have on there, just very bold in Arrow black font, very clear, bubbly font, the SKU number and the quantity really large. And then I just have the order number and the name, and that's it. It's the only thing I have on there. So they can see as many as they can. And what we actually do is, which is kind of crazy, we print the packing slip after we print the shipping label. So we have it set up to where you print bulk 50, all 50 shipping labels come out and all 50 packing slips come out. And then they just tear them, they just match the numbers, tear them off, put them in the cubbies of the cart, and then they go in the room and then they fulfill all the orders. But we're able to fulfill with 7 people. We could fulfill 250 orders per person times 7 in a 6-hour day. So we pay about anywhere from like 20 to 30 cents for the cost of fulfillment. And every employee that works for me that fulfills orders makes over $20 an hour. Most of them are at 22. So it's a pretty good job setup. And I have them working to where they can drop their kids off at school, and then it's only a 6-hour day, so they can, Monday through Friday, no weekends, so they can also pick their kids up from school. So if your employees aren't happy, like, you can check out the Glassdoor data. If you have happy employees, usually the business is thriving. So I try to go above and beyond for the employees no matter what. I was actually thinking this week, trying to give everybody, I don't even have the money in the account, but extra money. I was thinking about trying to give everybody a $1,000 bonus this week, random, out of the blue, as a thank you, because I feel like those things go such a long way when you do that. I also found that when you give, when you're feeling down and out and worried, and you feel like things aren't firing on all cylinders the way you want, but you go and you give, it comes back tenfold. I really feel like that really happens, dude. I've experienced it. When I tighten up, so one year I had this goal. I want to donate $100,000 to this one charity. And this was a goal. It was 2020. That was our best year. But guess what? I wasn't even focused on sales. I was focused on how cool it would be if I could show on our website that we donated this much. You know, like, and have a counter and everything. So I was just like the SCHD. I'm just focused on, like, how many shares can I get? You like that? I wasn't even focused on the dollar amount. And what happened was I had really great sales that year, because I feel like when you change the goal to something that is beneficial for others too, somehow you operate differently. I don't know if it's just like a law in nature or something, but I think it's the law of compensation. I think that's what it's called. No, so when we were fulfilling the orders, when I say I always stop because my wife was really fulfilling them while I was at work with a baby screaming. And when we were fulfilling the orders, she was fulfilling the orders, we didn't have a system or a process other than printing labels and fulfilling orders. So a successful business has product, people, and process. And if you miss one of those things, you're done. So you really need to be dialed in on all those. But I'll say, I think the most important one is the process and system. Once you have a decent product with good quality, and you have you find decent people are going to rotate. It's going to be hard to find good people. But when you do find them, treat them really well and go above and beyond, because you want to keep them. Because the churn, just like a rental, when someone moves out, it costs more money. Like, you might be renting a property for like $1,200 a month, and you might say, gosh, dude, all the rentals around here are $1,400 a month. If I could just freaking get this person out and get a new person in at $1,400, I mean, that's freaking $2,400 more a month. I mean, a year, that's $2,400 more a year I'd be making. And then the person leaves, and then guess what? You got $1,000, $1,200 in repairs. You don't get it rented for another month, so their $1,200 a month that they would have been paying wasn't paid, and before you know it, at the end of the year, you broke even or lost money. It's the same with employees. So if you find some good people, don't be stingy and just try to you'll break even in the end if you keep rotating employees, because you're just trying to run a cheap business and not actually take care of the people that work for you. But systems are so important, especially if you're going to sell your business. So what I did was I made an online portal, like a help center, like a help desk. We have that externally for regular customers, but then you can also have it internally for your employees. In there you can store anything you want. You can have templates. I used to have it separate. I used to have a separate thing, but now it's pretty much just all inside of Gorgias. So you can actually use Gorgias to create all your macros. Your macros are your email templates. And then in there you can create flows, and you can create steps, What happens when, and you can do it internally for the business. When we, like, intaking products or doing inventory, or if you document, don't keep all these, if you're building a business and you're super small, even if you're by yourself right now, if you have any kind of system and thing that you notice you do, put it on paper. Put it somewhere online, document it, so somewhere you can access it. As you're building your business, even if you're tiny, I wish I would have done this. Pretend it's bigger. Pretend you're about to hire 10 people and they're going to need to know what you're doing. Because you'll save yourself in the long run. When you got to go back and document 50,000 things, it'll feel daunting and overwhelming. But if you can do it now, one by one as you go, you'll look back and be like, gosh, this is clean. This is easy, Just for fun, go on like quietlight.com. That's like a brokerage that sells businesses. And look at some of the businesses. You might see a business on there that generates $250,000 a year in profit, and they're selling it for $1 million. So when you're working on your little business, or you're thinking like, dude, I'm selling cat scratchers, like this is a joke, nobody's going to want this. Keep in mind that, you can get a multiple of what your revenue, of your earnings after taxes, all the, EBITDA. But keep in mind that you can get a multiple of your earnings. So that's something good to remember. You might operate a little differently. You know what I mean? I'm heading into this coffee shop to figure out what systems and product and people I can figure out before my tornado destroys my house. Subscribe to the channel, guys. I appreciate you watching. Seriously, you have no idea. Super thankful for you guys. All right, it's a brand new day. Let's freaking go. See ya. Ooh.